You can really start to see how Caleb Williams is evolving under this new Bears system. And honestly, it's fascinating to watch. The way he's adjusting to the complexities of the offense is what stands out most. I mean, you're not just watching a quarterback throw the ball here. You're seeing someone who is learning how to process the game at a completely different level. It's not a simple thing to step into an NFL offense, especially one as intricate as this. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of concepts that have to click in your head in an instant. And the fact that Caleb is handling it this well at this stage is impressive. Sure, he's not at the point where his natural athletic talent just takes over on every single play, but that's not unexpected. Veterans around the league, people who have seen complicated systems before, often describe this offense as one of the most challenging they've been part of, and that's exactly the environment Caleb is navigating right now. What makes it even more interesting is how the coaching staff is approaching his development. Ben Johnson isn't rushing him. There's a deliberate strategy in play. They've been throwing the kitchen sink at him during training camp, testing what he can handle and what he can't, and from there, they're shaping the playbook week by week. It's a thoughtful, methodical process. The goal isn't to overwhelm him with everything at once. It's about building a foundation, understanding what plays fit his strengths, and then expanding from there. This is the kind of long-term planning that, if executed correctly, could pay huge dividends in the future. It's not about having a massive, fully loaded playbook right out of the gate. It's about cultivating a system that evolves alongside him, where each week's preparation is both a learning experience and a test of his adaptability. And that's exactly what you want to see in a young quarterback. You can tell that the growth Caleb has shown over the past 2 years is significant. Watching him in camp, there's a clear difference from last season. He's more confident, more engaged, and more willing to embrace tough coaching. There's a sense of ownership now. He's not just learning the offense because he has to. He's invested in mastering it. And that kind of attitude can't be overstated. The transition from college to the NFL is brutal. And even the most naturally talented quarterbacks often have to recalibrate their work ethic and approach. Caleb seems to understand that, and it shows in how he's conducting himself on and off the field. Coaches, teammates, and observers are noticing it. They've mentioned how he's taking in the coaching, asking questions, seeking feedback, and genuinely striving to improve. This kind of mentality can accelerate his growth exponentially, especially when paired with his physical tools. Another layer to consider is the dynamic with the coaching staff. Ben Johnson has earned the trust of the team early on, and that's no small feat. Building credibility as a new head coach isn't easy, particularly with a roster full of established players. But the intensity and passion Johnson brings to the field, combined with a clear and direct approach to communication, has resonated with the players. You can see it in how they respond to practice sessions, how they approach drills, and the energy they bring each day. When a coach can inspire that level of trust and commitment, it creates an environment where players are more willing to push themselves, to embrace accountability, and to truly buy into the system. That's the kind of culture that can transform a team over a season, and the Bears appear to be cultivating exactly that. And it's not just the quarterback position where this is visible. Take a look at the running back situation. Kyle Monangai, for example, has been quietly emerging as a vital part of this offense. His vision, patience, and ability to follow blocks are standout traits, and they complement DeAndre Swift perfectly. Watching him handle the ball, you notice how he reads the field, anticipates openings, and makes precise movements that maximize every play. There's a finesse to his game that isn't always flashy, but is incredibly effective. It's the kind of skill set that allows a backfield rotation to stay fresh and consistent over the course of a game. And it's clear the coaching staff is taking note. Monangai's development alongside Swift could give the Bears a formidable 1-2 punch in the backfield. And that balance is crucial, especially in an offense that relies on timing, spacing, and precision. The synergy between these players and the coaching staff is what makes this phase of training camp so compelling. You're watching individuals evolve in their roles, while the system itself adapts and grows. Caleb Williams is at the center of that evolution, but he's not alone. Every practice, every drill, every joint session with other teams is another opportunity for growth, not just for him, but for the entire roster. You can feel the energy and focus during these sessions, and it's clear that the team is taking every chance to prepare strategically for the regular season. There's a methodical rhythm developing here, and it's exciting to see it take shape. At the same time, there's a real-world dimension to all of this. Injuries, missed reps, and moments of uncertainty are inevitable. The coaching staff has to navigate that carefully, ensuring that starters get enough live repetitions without overexposing them to unnecessary risk. It's a balancing act that requires awareness, flexibility, and a clear understanding of the team's goals. Right now, the Bears seem to be managing that balance well. They're providing opportunities for key players to shine and build chemistry, while also protecting their long-term interests. The approach to these preseason games, especially with the starters, will be telling. How much they play, how the reps are distributed, and how they handle the short turnaround before the next game are all strategic decisions that could shape the rhythm of the season ahead. Through all of this, one theme emerges strongly: development through repetition and experience. Caleb Williams is a perfect example of this. His growth isn't just about physical talent. It's about mental acuity, decision-making, and mastering the nuances of a complex system. The more reps he gets, the more comfortable he becomes, and the more natural his execution looks. And that principle applies to every player on the roster. There's an understanding that you don't rush progress. You cultivate it. The combination of high-level coaching, structured practice, and a motivated roster creates the conditions for that growth, and the Bears are starting to show the results. Every day at training camp, you see incremental progress. It might be a tighter throw from Caleb, a smoother handoff from a young guy, or a lineman picking up a blitz a fraction of a second quicker than before. These small improvements add up, and when you put them together, they signal real potential for a team that is building not just for one season, but for sustained success. The foundation is being laid, and while the regular season is still ahead, the indicators are promising. There's talent, there's work ethic, and there's a culture that's embracing accountability, focus, and growth. That combination is powerful, and it's the kind of environment where players can thrive and the team can achieve more than expected. As the preseason stretches on, the Bears training camp continues to reveal fascinating layers of both strategy and player growth. One of the most compelling aspects is how the coaching staff is orchestrating these sessions to maximize learning while subtly evaluating talent. It's not just about winning in practice or showing up on the stat sheet. It's about creating an environment where mistakes become learning opportunities, where players are constantly challenged to adapt in real time. That kind of approach requires meticulous planning, and it's evident that Ben Johnson and his team have thought through every scenario. The joint practices, in particular, have become a laboratory for experimentation, a controlled setting where quarterbacks, receivers, linemen, and defensive players can test their limits against unfamiliar opponents. For Caleb Williams, these sessions are a goldmine. He's confronted with different defensive looks, unexpected blitzes, and unique coverage schemes that force him to make rapid reads. Each snap, each sequence of plays, is an opportunity to refine his instincts and decision-making, to see how the offense performs under pressure, and to identify areas where timing and chemistry need adjustment. It's the kind of situational awareness that separates great quarterbacks from merely good ones, and watching him navigate these challenges is a glimpse into his maturation process. Equally important is how the team's offensive line is adjusting to these scenarios. Pass protection in the NFL is a relentless puzzle, and it's clear that the Bears' line is evolving in response to the pace and complexity of the league. They're not just reacting to Caleb's mobility or the schemes of the opposing defense. They're anticipating, communicating, and synchronizing with the running backs and receivers. There's a fluidity developing, a rhythm that begins in practice but carries over into game situations. Watching the line operate in these joint sessions, you notice the subtle shifts, the small adjustments that prevent breakdowns and open up plays. It's a constant balancing act between aggression and discipline, and it's one of the underappreciated factors that can define a team's offensive success. When a quarterback like Caleb is paired with a line that understands both the system and the tendencies of the opponent, the margin for error shrinks dramatically, and the offense becomes far more efficient. Meanwhile, the defensive unit has been equally compelling to observe. The Bears' defense is being tested in ways that reveal both strengths and weaknesses. Linebackers and defensive backs are being pushed to read and react to Caleb's improvisational tendencies, while the front seven experiments with different pressure packages designed to disrupt timing and force turnovers. For the young quarterbacks, these defensive challenges are invaluable. They create moments that demand instant adjustments, mental toughness, and creativity. You can see how Caleb, in particular, is responding to this. He's not panicking under pressure. He's learning to manipulate coverage, anticipate blitzes, and make accurate throws from unconventional angles. It's a process of trial and error, but with each successful read or pinpoint throw, his confidence grows, reinforcing the lessons of preparation and repetition. Special teams, too, play a critical role in the broader picture. Punt coverage, kick returns, and field goal protection might not grab headlines, but the coaching staff treats these segments with the same precision as offensive and defensive drills. Each play, no matter how minor it seems, is an opportunity to measure reaction speed, coordination, and situational awareness. In practice, the players are drilled relentlessly, creating muscle memory and instinctive responses that will pay off during the high-pressure moments of the regular season. For the roster's younger players, performing well in these units can make a tangible difference in whether they secure a spot on the final squad. Coaches are watching every movement, noting not just execution but attitude, who maintains focus under fatigue, who communicates effectively, and who demonstrates the willingness to contribute in less glamorous roles. This attention to detail fosters a sense of accountability and emphasizes the idea that every player, from the first stringer to the practice squad hopeful, plays a part in the team's overall success. Beyond the technical aspects, there's a psychological dimension unfolding at camp. The Bears' culture, under Ben Johnson, emphasizes mental resilience as much as physical skill. Players are encouraged to embrace challenges, learn from mistakes, and maintain composure under scrutiny. That kind of environment is essential for a team navigating the ups and downs of a full NFL season. Preseason games, scrimmages, and joint practices are designed not just to test talent, but to simulate adversity, forcing players to maintain focus and adaptability. Watching Caleb Williams navigate these pressures, it's evident that he's absorbing the lessons, internalizing the coaching points, and gradually transforming pressure into performance. His growth is less about flashy plays and more about consistency, reliability, and the ability to make the right decision under stress. That mindset shift is critical. Raw talent can only carry a quarterback so far, but disciplined execution, poise, and preparation are what sustain success in the league over the long term. The relationship between the offense and defense during these practices is also worth noting. Both units are learning to push each other, creating a feedback loop that accelerates development. When the defense presents an unfamiliar look or a sudden blitz, the offense is forced to respond and adapt instantly. Likewise, when the offense executes a precise combination of routes and blocks, the defense must adjust, communicate, and find solutions on the fly. This iterative process not only sharpens individual skills, but also strengthens team cohesion. By continuously exposing players to high-quality, game-like scenarios, the coaching staff ensures that lessons from practice carry over to real games. Every snap becomes a microcosm of the larger challenge, staying ahead of the opponent mentally, physically, and strategically. Player-specific developments are also emerging in intriguing ways. Wide receivers are learning to adjust their routes based on defensive tendencies, synchronizing their timing with Caleb's decision-making patterns. Running backs are perfecting their reads and cuts, improving both efficiency and explosiveness. Linemen are refining their communication and coordination, especially in pass protection schemes that demand precise timing and split-second adjustments. And across the defense, players are working to anticipate reads, react faster to motions, and execute coverage with tighter discipline. The cumulative effect of these incremental improvements is dramatic. By the end of camp, The team isn't just physically sharper, it's mentally faster, more adaptable, and more cohesive. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NFC North, the Chicago Bears appear to be finalizing a deal with cornerback NAHSHON WRIGHT, a development that could drastically reshape the team's defensive outlook for the upcoming season. While no official announcement has been made, insiders suggest that negotiations have progressed to an advanced stage, fueling speculation that WRIGHT's arrival could fill a long-standing gap in the Bears' secondary. Analysts are already debating the potential impact, with some suggesting that WRIGHT's presence might force the team to adjust its defensive schemes to maximize his speed and coverage ability. The rumor mill has been particularly active, as fans and commentators alike ponder how WRIGHT's skill set could complement the existing roster. Some believe that pairing him with the current cornerback lineup could create a more formidable defensive unit, while others warn that integrating a high-profile player mid-season or close to the start of training camp carries risks in chemistry and consistency. Yet the excitement remains palpable, as whispers in sports circles indicate that the Bears are eager to make a statement in a division historically dominated by the Packers and Vikings. WRIGHT's potential signing has become the subject of endless online debate, with fans speculating on his immediate contributions and long-term fit. If the deal with WRIGHT indeed materializes, it could signal a more aggressive strategy by Chicago's front office in pursuit of a playoff berth, which has eluded them for several seasons. The timing of the rumors, coinciding with key off-season moves around the league, suggests that the Bears might be positioning themselves to compete not just within the division, but across the entire conference. Observers are questioning how WRIGHT's playing style will mesh with defensive coordinator Sean Desai's schemes, noting that his experience in coverage and ability to read quarterbacks could potentially elevate the team's pass defense. The chatter surrounding the NFC North has intensified, with speculation that rival teams may already be re-evaluating their offensive approaches in anticipation of facing WRIGHT. In addition, some sources hint that WRIGHT could bring intangibles beyond his on-field performance, including leadership in the locker room and mentorship for younger defensive backs. The buzz around this potential signing has created an atmosphere of anticipation that goes beyond the typical off-season discussions, highlighting how a single acquisition could catalyze a ripple effect throughout the league. Fans are meticulously analyzing his previous game tape, projecting hypothetical matchups, and engaging in heated online debates about whether WRIGHT's skill set aligns with Chicago's long-term vision for their defense. While nothing is confirmed, the speculation alone is enough to keep headlines buzzing across sports media platforms. Beyond the immediate tactical considerations, the rumored WRIGHT acquisition raises questions about Chicago's financial strategy and roster management as well, stirring conversations about the balance between proven talent and developmental prospects. The buzz surrounding this potential signing has prompted analysts to speculate on contract structure, cap space implications, and the possible domino effect on other defensive personnel decisions. Some insiders suggest that WRIGHT could command a premium, which may influence the Bears' plans to retain or trade other players, sparking rumors of a broader roster reshuffle. Meanwhile, fans are exploring hypothetical scenarios in which WRIGHT's integration forces positional changes or scheme adjustments, creating intense debate over the best method to optimize defensive production. The intrigue extends beyond purely strategic factors, with speculation suggesting that his presence could influence Chicago's approach to upcoming draft picks and free agent targets. As a result, what began as a single-player rumor has evolved into a broader conversation about organizational philosophy, team identity, and competitive positioning within the NFC North. Even casual observers are captivated by the narrative, as the interplay of speculation, potential, and strategic maneuvering creates a compelling story that continues to evolve daily. The rumor surrounding WRIGHT has become a lens through which fans and analysts evaluate the Bears' overall ambitions and willingness to shake up their roster in pursuit of immediate success, leaving the sports world eager for any confirmation or denial of the deal. The excitement around Wright's possible move to Chicago has also sparked speculation about how this development could reverberate across rival teams in the NFC North, particularly the Green Bay Packers and Minnesota Vikings. Analysts are hypothesizing that if Wright joins the Bears, opponents may need to adapt their passing strategies, potentially altering quarterback decisions, route combinations, and overall game plans to account for his coverage prowess. Sports media outlets are buzzing with theories about how offensive coordinators will adjust, and fan forums are flooded with debates about matchups and statistical projections. The uncertainty of whether Wright will actually sign keeps the conversation alive, creating an environment in which rumors are almost as impactful as confirmed transactions. Additionally, some insiders suggest that Wright's signing could have ripple effects on draft day strategy, player development focus, and even coaching decisions, as Chicago might feel more emboldened to pursue aggressive defensive schemes. In essence, the mere possibility of Wright wearing a Bears uniform is influencing broader narratives about the division's competitive balance and reshaping expectations for the upcoming season. This persistent chatter continues to dominate headlines and social media discussions, emphasizing how a single potential move can catalyze widespread analysis and speculation across the league. For fans, this is a tantalizing glimpse into how one acquisition might redefine a franchise's trajectory and alter the dynamics of an entire division, intensifying anticipation for every piece of news related to Wright's future. Finally, the hypothetical addition of NAHSHON Wright to the Bears roster represents more than just a potential upgrade in skill. It embodies the kind of dramatic narrative that keeps fans, analysts, and rival teams on edge, fueling endless speculation and debate. The rumor has sparked conversations about how quickly Wright could make an impact, whether his style suits the Bears' defensive philosophy, and how his arrival might affect team culture and on-field performance. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.